of the day. Does it look like a white beard? No, I think it's just the lighting, Daniel. Yeah, no, you guys are wrong. That's not gray. That's just the lighting. You've made a terrible mistake. No, no. It's the camera's not very good. That's all. All right, good morning, everybody. Today is the 8th of November. I don't know, honestly, if it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Wednesday, November 8th, 2017. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hi, my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader. I'm glad to be here with you. Thank you for being a client to TradersWay.com. Throw your diamonds in the sky. Traders Way. Very nice. Trying to get me in there. We do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday here at Forex.Today. So thank you for your loyalty and the respect that you pay every day. I appreciate all the effort that you put into becoming a successful, disciplined, independent currency trader. The gig is worth the effort, let me tell you. Nope. Let's go here. All right, I think we should be fine. I'm not quite settled today for some reason. My wife and my daughter told me they don't like my Hermes deodorant. I'm like, what? Can't make anybody happy in this house. All right. Anyways, let's take a look. Let's go over to Brian's like, sorry to hear that. Yeah. Terrible, huh? That's like saying, I don't like the Bentley. What do you mean you don't like the Bentley? I don't like it's too something. I mean, how could you not like it? It's a Bentley. I don't like it. Like, oh, how could you even possibly not like that car? Rather have an F-150. Yeah. All right. Anyways, boom, 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 boom. Here we are, still in the sell zone for bears. This is the pig dog. This is what we identified Thursday, I think it was, and then non-farm payrolls was here on Friday, and we were setting up sometime in this week. Well, now here it is, Wednesday, and it kind of looks like a lower low now, doesn't it? Call that a top, but we call this area the sell zone anyway, so a double top at a sell zone, followed by perhaps a lower low. So the way that you'd probably set this up if you've already missed it would be something like that. What do you think? 618 1382, maybe something like that. Take it down to an hourly. I don't know. It almost feels like down to here and then up. That would make a 786. That would keep us probably range bound. So then you get like this. See what I mean? Now we're talking about basically a 786 retracement, which would then create a double bottom and scenario, and we're back into the range. So it's kind of weird. We need to find support on this roll reversal and then have it drop to the actual pivot zone. Very less ideal. Okay? Very, very less ideal. Somebody asked, am I a bull or a bear? Well, this goes back now 3 or 4 weeks, maybe more, where it seems to me this is still bearish based on the high, the low, the drop, the 50% retracement, and a series of lower lows, not higher highs. Okay? So the target then would be conservative target here, aggressive target there, 128, I guess that is. It clusters right around in here. Okay? But the plan we had 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 weeks ago, but maybe even further back down here, is the 50% predicts the 1382, right? You see I already have it drawn, so it might even be next week's target, might just magically be this line. You got it? Okay. Again, we've drawn this a month ago. A month ago. Okay. I don't like the fact that it's kind of, I don't even know what you call that pattern. You guys probably do. What do you call this when it's kind of making higher highs and lower lows? Megaphone. Get the heck out of here. Really? Okay, a megaphone. Great. How do you trade a megaphone? Supposedly expanding triangle. Thank you, Sonny. Visas is call it confusion. Say, All right, so here's the thing. The consensus is inconsistent. See, it's funny, like often if I ask a question like that, like, very often what you find is a 50-50 response from the audience. Not just this audience in this webinar. I could be in Las Vegas. Like I've spoken in the grand ballroom of the MGM in Las Vegas, the grand ballroom, size of a football field. Cool, right? And I could ask that crew, hey, blah, 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 and you'll find 50-50. That's what a market is, right? So it's great that the consensus here today is nobody knows how to trade this. Great. Well, either pick a team or step aside, right? Now I have it drawn not as a triangle, but more of as a wedge, right? Let me clear this. Clear. Okay. I have it like this. I have it horizontally, but I tend to trade horizontally, right? I think you know that. I tend to trade horizontally, support and resistance, all that kind of stuff. So that I have this horizontal, and since I'm already bearish, I have this kind of like, oh, okay, it's not making higher highs, but it is making lower lows. So it just fits perfectly in my little, my little idea. It's confirmation bias, clearly. But it's pretty awesome, even though that's all confirmation bias, that on Thursday, it's now Wednesday, on Thursday and Friday, we were talking about this being a sell zone if you're a bear. And we already highlighted this down, and we already highlighted this sideways, And we highlighted this being a 50% of a significant drop. And there's always Brexit, right? There's always Brexit. Cool. So pretty lucky if it continues down, right? Fortunate. I wouldn't say lucky. And I say fortunate because really, I would say it leans to the bearish side, doesn't it? So I think your odds are a bit better. But let's say it's 60-40, you're not quite 50-50, 45-55 that is bearish, and 55-45 that it's bearish, right? And so that you still have to have a fair amount of luck. And that would be the luck side, would be the dollar side, right? Because it seems to me if it's doing what it's been doing, you know, you shouldn't be selling this here because it could come all the way to the top again, right? And fulfill that pattern. Okay. And I think what we said last week was you sell here or you sell here. That's why there's X's there, right? Does that make sense? Okay, this is daily chart, dollar index. All right, bullish on a daily, neutral on a 4-hour, neutral to bearish on a 1-hour. Slowly, 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 slowly doing its thing. Problem is, are we calling this a weekly bottom? Well, that's what we're testing now, isn't it? Okay. So I would declare something like, as long as we're lower than this, we're a bear. Does anybody agree with me? As long as we're lower than that, we're bearish. I'm going to trap it there. Sure. So in this case, you zoom in a little bit. Okay. But you would have sold it by now, wouldn't you? Right. London Open off of the 4-hour 21 is a pretty simple sell. Okay. Remember, if you are a bear and it opens oversold, you use the moving averages, not the pivots per se, right? So I'm not looking at it as a pivot per se. I'm more looking at it as 21 dynamic resistance. Probably hit the target earlier in the week. Wednesdays are kind of late for this, but I could see it spiking down today. And then maybe get yourself a counter trend. John says in his outlook, dollar's going to tank. Did you post that? No. That'd be cool if you did. I don't disagree with that. I would like the dollar to weaken. I'm okay with that. That means things are good. Oh, you know what I just realized? I got to sign up for classes tomorrow. Dude, they're doing, I have to do statistics and advanced microeconomics at the same time. Grad level classes. That's going to be a biatch, as they say everywhere. Statistics is not an easy walk-through class. And you know, again, at Harvard's, they just give you impossible amounts of work. It's impossible. You're like, it's impossible. And somehow you get through it. But, you know, it would be nice to have sort of a fluff class, right? Statistics and, I don't know, something. But advanced micro, you know, where you're, no. MRC, hey man, do you check dollar index and where? Dude, I just did it like 10 seconds ago. It's right here, man. Dollar index. Right there. Yeah, but you know what I'm doing now, Ryan? I'm doing things like manually calculating the GDP deflator. You're like, so you have nominal GDP, and then you have real GDP, and then you got a base year, and then you got the deflator, and then I have to contrast that against core CPI, right? Like, oh my gosh. So now then I'm also calculating CPI. I'm looking at the basket, right, and comparing CPI to GDP deflator. Oh my God, this is what I do with my time. Nice. Happy Saturday, kids. Mom, who's that weird, creepy old man in the dining room? Oh, that's your father, dear. We have a dad. You used to have a dad, but then he moved away to Harvard. So anyways, that's what I do. That's honestly what I do in my free time. All right. So yeah, there's your I'm sorry, Jason. Look, I'm sorry, dude. I'm having a weird day. I apologize. So if I get off track, put me on track. That's cool, okay? How about this? Ask a question, Jason. No, I'm in a weird mood today. I'm tired. I've got things going on and all that kind of stuff. So let's go back to WTI. WTI, as we outlined yesterday, came up, right? No. Jason's cool, right? No, just be involved, right? Don't get all upset, Jason. Just get involved. You'll see. I'm a giver. I'm a lover. So, anyways, we're up here. We hit the top end. We're in our monthly target for crude oil. Crude oil theoretically should not go any higher, right? Plus, you got now the weekly target hit. So you could see, was this yesterday or Monday? I think it was yesterday that I drew this as plausibly coming back down. It's still early in the month. It's early in the week. we're hitting a lot of targets. It's a great time for bulls to take profit, and that's the most important part. So if oils come up now to this area, remember we had it going to like 55, 56, so 57.50 is more than enough for most people. So there should be profit taking in here. You got to watch the 4-hour 21 because that could be bouncy with the cluster pivots. Okay. And like I think I said this yesterday too, it's not necessarily a sell, it's where you're supposed to be taking profit. Okay. But if the market does take profit, then in this scenario, I would expect a return to the central. And this is a monthly play now. So this could stay up elevated all week, work its way down next week, and work its way down the week after that. Okay? Just technical analysis. So was it Monday or Tuesday that I started drawing the supply and demand curves? When did it become monthly? When the monthly pivots are in play. Okay, let me draw it here. Okay? That's the projected top for the month of November. According to pivot points, it should not go higher than that. It could, but it probably won't. Oh, Robert's watching a video from a few years ago. Cool. Awesome, by the way. Thank you. No, setting up profiles? No. Should be pretty easy, right? So, like, I'll show you. Let's just grab a profile here. Oh, like that. CAD, right? CAD, 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 CAD. All right. So currently this profile is called scan pound. So what we're going to want to do is profiles, save as, scan CAD. No, I actually do have a CAD. So anyways, you would, well, I don't want, okay, so, no. I got to save this and I can delete it. Okay, so anyways, so go to profiles, save as, scan test, right? Scan, how about Canada? Okay. So now I have scan Canada. I can go back to scan pound, and that is still there. Okay? I didn't have to save, I didn't have to log out. This is still the one I brought up before, but then I created a new one called Scan Canada. Okay? So I didn't have to log out or do anything to the profiles and stuff. So this is Scan Canada, and now I can change my mind. Can I not do it from this one? I guess I can't do it from this one. So I'll change profile. And then I can go to profiles. I couldn't delete it because I was in it. Now I can profiles, remove, scan Canada, scan in it, and it's gone. Cool. Okay. So now I don't have to log out and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, so we're back at oil. We still have Scotty here. Scottorama. Scotty. Oh, sorry, it's Jason. Jason, you still around? Shot brings up yen. Yeah, yen's been frustrating, right? So what can we do? It's frustrating. I want it to go up. There's no doubt. Last month we hit last month. I guess essentially September. September it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Slammed into the exact pivots in which people would take profit, which they did. And then it's not cooperated anymore. So it was a dud of an October if you were a fundamental swing trader. And so we're in this situation. If you're still looking for that to end the year between November and the end of the year, which is still quite a bit of time, you're setting it up. Okay. So if you're going to look for that Shaw, you still have to identify your support. So I would start looking at monthly support and stuff like that. So you can see we're already through things like monthly M2. Very, 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 very disappointing if you're a bull. Now look at what the bear side. The bears sold at exactly where they were supposed to and then got paid. Boom. So it's one of these things where, once again, if you pick a side, if you're a bull or a bear, if you've made that decision, there are clear places where to buy, clear places where to sell. And if the market agrees with your bias, you get paid. If the market disagrees with your bias, you probably won't get a trade set up or you'll lose a little bit of money. Shouldn't be the end of the world. Okay? This was clearly a buy zone for bulls. Okay? The secondary buy zone is not so good. It's down here. We don't really want it to head that low and make a lower low, and then you got to work through getting, a higher low and then a higher high and double bottoms, and it's just a lot of extra work. Okay? So it's very disappointing. Really, if it's going to go up, it kind of has to do it today, and on a daily chart, it just looks like a wick. Okay? So it's one of these things like, try not to get frustrated. Peter says, why not use S1? Because that's not how you do it. I didn't make up the rules. The market makes up the rules. Okay? So, maybe it heads down, but don't get frustrated. Ask yourself, has anything fundamentally changed? Right? And go from there. Right? So if you're a bull, you would have bought this double bottom. You would have bought this retracement. Right? Maybe you jammed your stop up here. Maybe you got knocked out here. I know a lot of the other pivots were at key reversal monthly pivots, so maybe you did take profit here. It would be assumed to come back down. Was it assumed to come back down this far? Probably not. But if you're a bull, you would have bought a bottom again and then failed. And it's one of these things is, look, if it keeps doing this, you're not buying, right? You see what I mean? So you got to be patient. If it comes like this and then starts heading up, then you are buying, right? Because this is support, this was support, this was support, this was support, okay, so on and so forth. And your bias was simply up. Where I think most people lose most is when they're buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. And maybe on the short run, because you got to put that into context. On the short run, they might say, well, Wayne, I did way better. I made 250 pips here, 250 pips there. I'm making hundreds of pips a month, when if I had done this other strategy, maybe I didn't make any pips at all. Maybe I lost pips. But if you look over like a multi-year period, these are the scenarios when it does work. You're not making 250 pips. You're making couple of thousand pips per currency pair. Where you do it the other way, where you're short term only, 250 pips is a good month, not a good day, right? And you certainly are not likely to make thousands of pips a month, like 5,000 pips, 6,000, 7,000 pips a month. Not if you're short term only. And by short term, I mean even 15-minute or 1 hour charts and stuff like that. Like swing trading, right? Weekly swing trading. That is like a bread and butter setup, right? But even that only makes 100 or 200 pips a week when you get it right. So like that's not going to make you filthy stinking rich. So right, so you got to take the good with the bad sort of thing. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because this didn't work in October and in this frustrating setup in November. It may not work this year. It worked last year, the year before that, and the year before that. So like, don't get all upset. Stay focused on your fundamentals. If your fundamentals haven't changed, right, then if you're a bull, identify the next two levels in which you may consider buying. That is your job. Stay with it. And if the market goes bearish, but you're a bull, just say, I don't like these market conditions. And wait for the market conditions to change. Okay? That's the longer point of view. Amateur traders, and I'd say, let's say retail traders, generally don't have that longer point of view. They're sitting down, they want to make money today. Well, that's fine, and they're income based. You understand? So, yeah. But I'll tell you, because I am frustrated too, if we get lower than where we are now, so let's just identify that. If we're lower than this, I'm just really bummed out. Really bummed out. I'm not happy where we are now, but I could see this turning north, whether it's here, or even if it dipped down. I said it would be frustrating because then you'd have to get a big bounce, and then you'd have to have a higher low, and then a higher high, and then probably down to a double bottom, and then, you know, you're really working things out because it would probably reverse this way. Let me show you. Let me just draw it. To get a lower low, so let's say it comes down to here. That's still support. That's kind of like the Alamo, the last stand, right? So then let's say it does this, and then this, and then this, but then it'll probably still do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you know, and then hit all this resistance, still probably come back down before breaking. And that's just a lot of work. I'd rather just kind of do a range. See, if it goes up now, if it goes up off of this, okay, we're kind of there now. I know it's just a little bit lower, but I'm telling you, it's like right where we are right this second. If it bounces and heads up here, then you're going to trade it probably like a macro range and sort of a micro range scenario, okay, which is different. Okay, you're going to follow the oscillator up in this case. If it makes a lower low, then you got to do the 1, 2, 3 and double bottom and then break back in and you know, that kind of stuff. And it's a different scenario. It's less clarity. I mean, if somebody buys it here because they identify that as support, that's clarity. Having it do a lower low and then buy it is not necessarily clarity. So it would take a lot to get the next guys on board. So is Jason gone, or are you still here, Jason? Jason. Jason, 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 Jason. 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 Huh. Dude, he should have given me a little more of a chance, huh? I apologized. I said he was right. No, and I said don't beat up on him, and you're right, and ask a question, get involved. Yeah, okay, so Shuts is afraid if I change my fundamental bias. Right. So here's the interesting thing. I think every trader will do better if they flip a coin and have a bias. Okay? Flip a coin and it says you're long only or short only, whatever that is, right? Not just today, but like, let's say for the next 6 months or whatever. January 1st. How about that? January 1st. You flip a coin. I'm a bear. Okay? And that's that. And that would be for like the US dollar, or it'd be for like the Japanese yen or something like that. Whatever. And you just focus on one thing. Become a specialist in one thing. So in my book, I say become a greenback guru. Still good advice in my humble opinion. Whatever, okay? So you flip a coin, and that's what your outlook, your bias is for that currency for a year. Or how about 6 months? Now, I don't mean like do it for every currency and now you're going to, no, because now you're really doing luck. Okay, let's take the luck part out. You're going to trade one major currency, pound only, yen only, dollar only, whatever, but you can trade it against any of the other pairs, right? Whatever. So you flip a coin, got it, great, you're a bull. Now what that does is it gives you clarity and intent. Amateurs don't seem to have this. That means when you're opening up your chart, you already know what you're looking for. We talked about this a day or two ago. Through my hardcore analysis, I came up with a bias, but it's just as good as flipping a coin. Okay? So if you, let's say, are bullish on the US dollar, that means you're looking to sell euro dollar, pound dollar, buy USD Swiss franc, or whatever. You got it? Now you know exactly what to do. So you open up your euro chart, where are the next two levels of resistance? Open up the pound chart, where are the next two levels of resistance? USD CAD, where are the next two levels of support? And you know exactly what you're doing. There's no debate. You're not trying to figure out what the market wants today. Oh, I guess it's going to go up. I guess it can't fall further. You know, you're not doing any of that. You're just, you know what you're going to do. You have clear intent. You have purpose. You know what you're looking for. You just need the right prices. Okay? And guess what? You know when you're wrong. If you want the market to go up, but the market's falling, you just don't get any trade setups. Do you understand? You're like, huh, not today. I guess I'm not buying today. You might go 2 or 3 days without a decent trade. And then even then, 1 or 2 days of break-evens. And then you might have 7 or 8 days of profit, some of which might run. Oh, Ryan, it's sad. It's like going to adopt a dog, and then you're like, damn, there's like, it bums you up. Looking at the Aussie yen is like going to an animal shelter, and you're like, oh, these poor things. So, okay? And that's what a bias is, guys. Yeah, cool, Alan. I mean, it really is important because think of it. I've actually, if you go back like a year or two even now, I've asked people to just simply take out a PowerPoint slide and state whether they're a bull or a bear on something like the dollar. Print it out, put it on their wall. And, you know, Generally speaking, nobody does things like that, right? Maybe one or two people, but the other 100 definitely not. Now, the funny thing is, let's reverse it. Let's say I'm walking down the street and I bump into a billionaire and he says, hey, Wayne, what do you think about the euro? Hey, Wayne, what do you think about the dollar? Do I have a clear answer? You'd think like that I wouldn't say, well, give me your chart, I'll see what might happen today. Or I mean, I have clarity and focus and intent, and I can back it up, and I can get really involved and like, oh my God, you know, and really convince somebody of my opinion, right? Oh, passion. But like I can really overwhelm them, right? So I have this clarity. I still might be wrong from time to time, but I know when I'm wrong. And when I'm right, I'm usually pretty good because I know what I'm doing and I know the prices at which I should do it. I mean, if I'm a buyer, I'm identifying good prices to buy, right? So it's like a requirement of being a professional. Clarity and intent. Oh, did I go crazy on that one too, right? So like, why not, right, Alan? Why not have clarity where you flip a coin, boom, you're a bull on the US dollar. Great. Which means in times when the dollar is bullish, you will probably make money. And when times when the dollar is not bullish, you probably won't make money. Now, if you're managing your risk and you're buying at support and you're using technical analysis, you're not likely to lose a lot of money. You may not get entries. You may get entries but have break-even trades. You might get entries and get little winners. You might get entries and get little losers. But you just generally won't do that well. But you'll probably do okay. In my experience, you'll still do okay because you're still buying at support. There's no debate about that either. You bought at support, you were a bull and it went up for a while, but then the trend took over and it collapsed. Well, you might have made 50 pips or 25 pips. You might have jammed your stop. Maybe you lose 25 pips, but you're not like bloodbath kind of stuff. And you're like, you're the emoji, right? You're like, I was a bull, market fell, not a big deal. But when you're right, you'll be very, very, very right because the trend is your friend. Cool, nice. You just took out so much of the probability of failure simply because you have intent. Now, buying at support and losing money is not a failure. It's a failed trade. It's not a failure. Okay? There's a big difference. Okay, go back to the gold thing. Oh, these are yens? Okay, let's do this. Okay. Now remember, there's one last word on that. You're not to be stubborn and stupid, right? Remind yourself that. That's not the intent of a bias. Okay? If you're bear on dollar, then you're looking, when you look at the euro dollar, you know you're looking to buy at support. Ideally, when you're getting higher highs and higher lows, not lower lows and lower highs, right? Right? You're not to buy in a downtrend. That would be stubborn and stupid and probably unprofitable. Okay? But you will look for the next two levels of support because those are the places where a downtrend might consolidate and then might work its way up, and that's when you get busy season. Okay? That's your first step. Okay, it's your first step. Now, someday, I'd like you to make your bias intelligently. Because if you meet a billionaire and he says, "Hey, what's your outlook on dollar?" You're like, I'm a dollar bear." He's like, "Oh, that's interesting. Why?" "I flipped a coin." The hell? 50-50 chance, right? The hidden gem here, one last comment on this. The hidden gem, you will develop patience and discipline because you will have intent, you'll have clarity, you have a solid bias, you're identifying levels of support in which you may wish to buy, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you wait, and then you get a setup, and then you do a pullback. And now you're only doing trade, and you will develop patience and discipline. And in my humble opinion, like 14 years ago when I did my little business planning retreat, and I said, you know what, I don't have a mentor. I wrote down the characteristics of the type of trader I'd want to be, and for some reason I wrote patient, disciplined, confident. So then I said, well, how do I do that? And literally wrote a plan. Not figuratively, actually wrote it. Yeah. All right. Gold. We had a question about gold from the J low. All right. So once again, we still have not made a lower low. So still not bearish. Maybe becomes bullish. How did I see it? I don't even understand the question. I see range, yeah. I see range too. But if it heads up, okay. So the first thing that happens before heading up is it has to stop heading down. Okay. And that would be the one place to do it. Right. So if you're playing the monthly M2 and, oops, that was supposed to be 2, and the double bottom, if you want to count that as a double bottom. And it's a double bottom of a double bottom, but okay. So if you identify that as support and you're a bull and you think it might go up, then at some point it will break higher and start doing this. Don't worry, Kitty. I was having a bad day. I was babbling on and some guy got mad at me and left. So you didn't miss anything. Apart from June, July, why would you not monthly swing every month? Oh, you would, Peter. Peter's just like, what? Yeah, well, what made you think otherwise? Yeah, it's going to be a big one, Johnny boy. Well, clean up that mess. Gee whiz. Oh, what do I expect? I don't expect anything. I don't trade that way. I'm sorry, bro. I don't guess. Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. What the best outcome of that is I'm there at the moment the news comes out, and what? I guess I can front run it and catch the news. So I could guess and just say, well, what's the trend? Do they have tons of inflation? All that kind of stuff. How's their import-export data? Make a guess. You're like, all right, no change. So I can guess that, right? And get a trade in, jam my stop, let it run, and I'm hero 0. The other way of doing it is the news comes out. It's an event-driven strategy now, and I trade the volatility and all that kind of stuff. And the upside is if there is a surprise and you're there, then you really get the extra level of volatility. But look at these gray hairs, man. Like, I used to do all that stuff. I mean, I traded a 1-minute chart for a year. I mean, I'm nuts, right? But these are all losing trades. all these gray hairs on my chin. I don't think you can even see it. I got a lot of losing trades in my life. Anyways, now I'm old, and so what I prefer is longer term, easier trades based on fundamentals, a buying at support. Weekly swings, love them. Monthly swings, love them, right? And then I can read the central bank data. I can read the, have an outlook, so to speak. But to guess and to trade the guess of the central bank's decisions, I don't know. I guess I've done that for so long and probably feel, I don't know, I don't have stats, but I feel like it's very inconsistent. Well, it's still guessing. Like, you can make an informed decision, John, right? Yeah, but it's still a guess. What is Janet Yellen going to do tomorrow? What color shoes is she going to wear? Well, she has 8 pairs of gray shoes, 1 pair of white shoes, 1 pair of red shoes. And you're like, well, she probably would go with gray because there's more gray. But yeah, all right. So like if you did, okay, now we're talking alpha, right? I'm talking almost more beta, like what is the market going to do? And then I'll make decisions. Okay. Now, week and advance. Yeah. So if it's unchanged, that's not necessarily bullish, right? Here's the interesting thing. If it's unchanged, but then they comment, because remember, it's not what they do. That's already priced in. It's the expectation in the future is what you're trading. So they could say unchanged, but, and also the kiwi will go the other way. But we're starting to worry, we're starting to see acceleration. We're starting to see, that's it, right? And all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, sometime in the next 3 to 6 months, they're going to raise interest rates, which would be a change in policy, not just a raise, but, they were bullish for a while, then bearish for a while, and then neutral. But all of a sudden, boom, if they're like, hey, in the next 6 months, Kiwi's going to start moving because of China, because of Australia, because of the United States, because of whatever, game on, change in policy. And changes in policy last for years. So I would say, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably not a lot going on for Kiwi at the moment. They're probably not going to hint about raising interest rates. That's probably not bullish for the Kiwi. Cool. Okay. Cool. I'd front run that. Yeah. Because it wouldn't shock anybody. So I wouldn't expect the volatility to be high. Like, oh my God, New Zealand didn't do anything? Woo. But how about like the pound? Like the Bank of England raising interest rates and everyone's like, what the F are you doing? Like, it's immediately a mistake. They're like, what? It's like a dog twisting his head. What? Right? I don't think any surprises are going to come out of New Zealand. Okay. So how about this? I'm pretty sure we said on Monday and Tuesday that it would probably head back up, kind of to the top of this channel, and then work its way down to our target, right? I even adjusted the channel. Yeah, no, I know you're, yeah, understood. Get it. Okay. All right. So anyways, I think we adjusted this and everything because I really wanted to get the top end of this channel properly so that when it would rise, because remember, we're at the bottom here, when it does rise, that it gets reasonably close to an actual, what could be a top. And I'll remind you that we started this as an uptrend, anticipated consolidation, anticipated the break, anticipated the retracement, anticipated the drop, and then put together the double bottom retracement to the top of the channel, which is still a lower high, which would then predict a lower low, and our target is still down here. Oh my lord, right? Still need to get through buck 27, sure. Can we do it? I don't know, but the trend seems to indicate that it's likely. Oh, Johnny, you're counting waves. Well, that's where you leave me in the dust. That's not something that I do. Yeah, I think what it is a personality thing. I think if you have like an accountant's mind, like I know accounting, but I'm not an accountant, right? I'm a CEO, not a CFO kind of thing. I think it fits really well in an organized world. Everything fits nice. And if you get it wrong, well, it's just a wave count that's different. You adjust that, no, it fits very nice again, right? I don't live in that world. I don't count waves. I don't like counting waves. I like the chaos, so to speak, where I believe there's order to the chaos. But but that whole thing of like, oh, well, this is a C correction of a 3 wave, and oh my God, what? Yeah. Yeah. Subjectivism. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What do we hear? Somebody asked me about Aussie yen. Okay. Well, I'm long. Or am I? No, I'm not long. It touched my entry. It touched my entry, but didn't put me in. Yeah, let's go take a look, Brooke. Thank you for asking. This one's for Brooke Shields. Yeah, let's look at this one. She told me in the morning she don't feel the same about us in her bones. MACD histogram. Interesting. You use that for divergence or? Okay. All right, fine. So you probably should write a little more detail, and you should probably have more than one time frame in your post. Okay, this is your 4 hour. Okay, great. So I see what your trade plan is. You're caught between the centrals. You want it to go up and then down. All right, so now I want to look at this area here. Okay, to look for an entry. I'm looking at the oscillator and stuff. Yeah, it's mediocre. But so now I want to zoom in. Okay. So I feel like I don't quite have enough data, but I can tell you that, you know, this is okay. I mean, I agree that there's a monthly top there. I agree with that. I wish there was a better role reversal, but up and then down. Yeah, okay, I get that. This seems fine. Right, so like if I was to draw on your chart here. So you're going higher high, higher low, right? There's going to be a breakout. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get this, 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 this. Okay? So it really comes down to your behavior in this area. So you might want to dump one here and then let it drop, and then dump one here, let it drop, dump one here. You get 3 trades. Okay? But I don't know how are you going to enter, are you going to long into this first? Okay. Typically, I would like to see better use of role reversal. Oops. The role reversal is higher up. Okay. And you are facing, yeah, I see that. So up and then down, right? So I would have liked to see, let's say on a 15-minute chart, your entry in here. Because like your oscillator is pretty mediocre. The support I agree with here, that's fine. Using your oscillator, you were better off down here. Okay. So yeah, see if you can get another time frame in there. Huh? Oh, I'm not logged in. Cool. Can we do it tomorrow, John? I'd be happy to go through it and stuff like that. Yeah, just get me in the beginning. Yeah. All right. Yeah, my pleasure too. All right. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for being on my team. I'm sorry about the babbling and stuff like that. It's weird. I'm trying to get like additional sleep and I wake up more tired. You ever get that way? I think maybe it's weaning the adrenaline off or something. I don't know. But more sleep is worse. So, anyways. Yeah. Yeah, Mike's like time for a holiday. I've never actually had a holiday. I went on a honeymoon like 11 years ago. But last vacation I've had was probably hanging out in South Africa, which was a working vacation, but a joy and a pleasure at the same time. All I had to do was speak for 8 hours straight or something, right? Was it 16? Oh, wait. That's a lot of speaking. Oh, yeah, well, in 2 days. Gee whiz. Yeah, yeah. All right, so anyways, see you guys tomorrow, huh? Thursday? Awesome Thursday. Remember Wednesday, oil inventories, watch your kitty cat. Watch oil drop, maybe. I don't know. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being on my team, huh?